What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another awesome trophy list review. Today we've got Running Fish 007 from the US of A. So let's take a look at Running Fish's profile. They have got in total 7,430 trophies, a very impressive 142 platinums, 580 golds, 1,580 silvers, and over 5,000 bronze trophies. 180 games played, 148 completed, giving them a completion percentage of 88.65%, which is just amazing. Averaging 1.38 trophies a day, and they are in the top 12,000 of the USA, which is, for the size of the country, is very, very admirable. So, in terms of gaming series, they have got, I hope I got my numbers right, they have got 7 platinums in Assassin's Creed games, a whopping 18 Final Fantasy platinums, 5 God of War platinums, and my personal favorite, 9 Resident Evil platinums. You know, we're a big fan of Resident Evil on this channel, so let's go to the bottom. So this is kind of like a real OG account because it began in 2008 and it began with Uncharted Drake's Fortune on the PS3, which I think was one of the first games to get trophy support. So, and done quite quickly, nicely done. There's a lot of games on this list which are done really quickly. It's very impressive. There's one in particular that really stands out. And then a few years later, onto Final Fantasy 13 on the PS3. 90 hours, 5 out of 10. I still have not played a Final Fantasy game. They just kind of skipped me by when I was growing up. But I have got 7 downloaded, so I will try eventually. And then onto another platinum that we share alongside Uncharted, which is Lego The Lord of the Rings on the Vita. I've got the Vita one as well. I really love this. I did this in 2 days. It is a very fun Lego game. I think some of them can be a bit grindy near the end because you have to get all the characters, all the bricks, all the coins and whatever, etc. A lot of backtracking and playing the levels again, but this was awesome, and they used the official audio, music and actors audio from the film, so it was quite epic, I won't lie, for a handheld game. And then we've got Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, which I think is probably one of the shorter Final Fantasies, and look at that, a day and a half to get a Final Fantasy game platinum is pretty impressive. Then on to Watch Dogs, again, a series that I've never played. I know some of it's in London, and I see footage of it, and I'm like, I know that place, I know that road. Yeah, I just don't really get what it's about. It looks cool, it looks interesting. I know you can play as almost any character in the world. So nicely chipped away at that over 10 months in 2015. Then we got Lego Movie, the video game on PS4. I've got this on Vita, but I have not yet played it. Done in 4 days. That's a good thing about a Lego game. You can kind of basically platinum them in a few days. Probably apart from the latest Star Wars one, which was like every film in one game. But yeah, you can do them pretty quickly and they're really fun. Infamous Second Son, which is one of the PS4 launch titles, and I see quite a very popular platinum trophy amongst trophy hunters. 3 days, 23 hours. It's pretty short. You have to do 2 playthroughs. It's a game that I absolutely suck at. I should really one day go back to it. And then we've got Ether 1, nice 5-hour short platinum, done in just 2 days. And then Until Dawn, done quite quickly. I downloaded this recently. It's on the PS Plus Extra, and I thought, you know what, in between the bigger games, this is a nice one to do. And you did it pretty quickly, which is really good. And then look at this bad boy right here. 2015, when the game came out, I believe it was 2015, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, one of my favorite games ever. 3 weeks and 6 days, basically in a month, which is if you were to see what you have to do for the platinum, that is seriously impressive. I'm starting to see this game creep up more and more on the trophy list that I review, and I actually, funny enough, played it the other day, just to pop one random trophy. But I really like it. It's one of those impressive platinums. It's a bit almost like Rockstar games because you have to collect every animal in it. It's not like Red Dead where there's like tons of animals. And you don't really have to go hunting for them really. You just put cages down, and when your mission finishes, you catch the animal. And you have to S rank every mission, doing every objective in the mission. So it's a lot like GTA and Red Dead in that sense. And there's quite a fair bit of collectibles. And you have to collect a lot of resources to build up your base. It's a really good game. I highly recommend it to people. And on a technical level, it's the best Metal Gear Solid game that exists in terms of gameplay. And I think story-wise, you can play this without playing the other ones. You wouldn't feel lost at all. It's very much like its own kind of contained story. Lego The Hobbit. I have thought about doing this because I liked Lord of the Rings so much, but I'm kind of looking for a Vita version. I tend to do Lego games on the Vita. I really don't know why that happens, but yeah, I've never played a Lego game on my console. But again, nicely done. Then on to a few bangers here. Look at this, into a little From Software territory. Bloodborne, 7 out of 10, 50 hours, done in 2 months. This game is so like difficult and infamous, but yeah, it's so popular on PSN profiles. Like it's not an ultra rare. It's so popular on people's trophy lists. I see it very often. In fact, I'd be surprised if I open up one of your lists to review and it's not on here. So a lot of people do it. I think it's one of those, as people say, once you get into the game and you understand the mechanics, you can kind of figure it out. It clicks, as people say, it clicks. And then onto Dark Souls 3, which I think is the longest one out of the Dark Souls, if I've got this right. I think it's the one where there's quite a bit of grind at the end of the game. But again, 80 hours, 7 out of 10, very difficult game. 1 month, 1 week. Then on to one of my favorite series, Uncharted. So you did, oh nice, Drake's Fortune Remastered, Uncharted 1 back on the PS4 when it got remastered, nicely done. Then Uncharted 2, which is an absolute banger of a game, guys. If you haven't played this is so awesome. Honestly, really fun game. Omega Quintet, 100 hours. That's a real big grind. Did that over the course of half a year. Very nice. And then finished the trilogy with Uncharted 3. Rated 5 out of 10. It's not really a 5 out of 10. It's more of a 3 or a 4. And then Dishonored. I don't see this one pop up a lot. And it came up for free on the PS Plus subscription. And I just never played these games. I always knew of them. Quite a few mates at work tell me it's a really good game. But yeah, one that maybe one day I'll pick up. But yeah, you did this very quickly. 6 days and 8 hours. Then on to one of the, I think, OG classic Final Fantasy games. So Final Fantasy 7. 3 out of 10, 40 hours, 9 months. This is the one where I've got the, I don't know what it's called, Intergrade remake. It's got a certain word before remake. So I think if I ever tackle a Final Fantasy, it will be that. It will be 7. Nier Automata, again another long game, 60 hours, 3 out of 10, done really quickly. And then another banger of a game, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. I think Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor to me is one of those, if someone started trophy hunting, this would be one of the games I'd recommend. I'm not saying it's particularly easy or anything, but it's easy enough that you can get the platinum, and it's still challenging enough that it's really fun and tests you a little bit. And there's just a lot to do. It's fun. And also all the collectibles show up on the map. The Nemesis system in the game is amazing. I think this is a really good game. Even if you don't know Lord of the Rings lore or you're not the biggest fan, I think you'll like this. It's a very good game. Really good combat. Then back to the Dark Souls franchise. Scholar of the First Sin, 6 out of 10, 80 hours. very nicely done. I've still yet to really play a From Software game properly. They're just too, yeah, I find them very alienating, you know. I think I tried Bloodborne and I spent the first, no lie, I spent the first 30 minutes trying to equip a weapon. I kid you not. I kid you not. And when I told other people this, they were like, that's how it is. That's how it is. And I was like, okay. South Park, The Stick of Truth. Nicely done. Again, very quickly. I'm going to say this so wrong. I always forget how you pronounce this. Deus Ex. Mankind Divided. This is another one that came up on PS Plus, and I think a more difficult platinum than the rating suggests, 4 out of 10. I think I looked into the trophy list. I did a bit of research into it. I think it's a lot more difficult. I think you have to do a playthrough, kind of a pacifist type playthrough, not killing anyone. So using like tranquilizer and rubber bullets, etc. I think there's very many different ways to play. Some of the gameplay mechanics look really awesome. There's quite a few missable trophies in the game as well, so you really have to like keep track of what you're doing. So that's a very nice platinum to see. And then another one that we share, which is Horizon Zero Dawn. This is another good one. I think this is another good kind of entry level coming into trophy hunting game to play. It's kind of that generic PlayStation platinum, open world, loads of side missions, collectibles, challenges, etc. I played it at first and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the cutscenes or the gameplay, but then I came back to it literally exactly a year later. I don't know why. I just wanted to clean up some of my backlog games that I left unfinished, and I just really got into it, and it's really good. And I look forward to playing the sequel because I think it's going to get the best out of the PS5. I think it's really, you know, optimized for the PS5. The South Park, The Fractured Butthole. I see this pop up quite a lot. I've never played this, but I do know it's very popular. LA Noire is one that you don't see often. Only rated 4 out of 10, but I'm sure it's probably harder than that. It's probably the most accessible Rockstar Platinum, I presume. I think you just have to finish the cases, and there's a few car-related trophies, but it sounds quite doable. Then onto this platinum that every single person in the world has except for me, and that is God of War 2018. Done in a month and a week when it came out. Very nicely done. Very nice platinum to have. The Order 1886. This was my 4th or 5th platinum. This is like the perfect trophy hunting entry game. Honestly, I did it in a day and a half. It's so short. Really good game. Highly recommend. If you can get it cheap, don't pay full price for it because it's really short, and I don't think you'll replay it again and again. But it is a really cool game. Very good looking game as well. Set in London as well, which, you can't go wrong with that. Dark Souls remastered on the PS4. 8 out of 10, 70 hours. A lot more Dark Souls games. Very nice. Done across 4 months. Devil May Cry 1, which is surprisingly 4 out of 10 at 30 hours and sounds doable to an average gamer like me, because the Devil May Cry games have a big reputation. And this is a difficult one. You don't see this often. Ace Combat 5, The Unsung Wars, really impressive. 7 out of 10, 50 hours, difficult gameplay, done in a month and a week. Really, really, really good. Then we've got The Witness, first-person puzzler game that is deceptively hard, hence why it's 6 out of 10. It's only 15 hours, but it's 6 out of 10. It's a game that I do definitely want to try eventually. And then on to Death Stranding. So I'm a huge Hideo Kojima fan, because, growing up, Metal Gear Solid was one of my favorite gaming series, and just completely changed how I thought about games. And I can't wait for the ports to come in October. But I don't know with this game. Like one of my close friends highly recommends it. He absolutely loves it. But every time I watch gameplay, it just looks so, for lack of a better word, it just looks boring. You have to balance packages on you, and then just traverse and deliver them. I don't know. Like, graphics look amazing, and they got loads of big actors in it. And knowing Kojima, I'm sure there's a really ambitious story there. But I just worry this could be a game that I start. I love the first 5 hours, and then eventually I kind of get bored by the repetition. But it is one that, I don't know, maybe I'll try one day. Then we got a game that I got. My mate recommended this to me. It was on sale, dirt cheap on the PS Store, like a few pounds, and Onimusha Warlords, that is. And I still haven't played it. I think because it's, I think it's fixed camera, and in the age of PS5, I've just become so like spoiled and privileged. I don't think I struggle to play fixed camera games. Like, I did it with Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. That's because it's one of my all-time top 10 favorite games. But it is quite short, 15 hours. I think it takes 2 playthroughs from what I remember. And you did it quite quickly. Then we've got Spider-Man, a classic, pretty much on everyone's trophy list. Nice. Final Fantasy 8, 3 out of 10, 45 hours. Another one that seems quite accessible on the PS4, done in way less than a week. Then yes, we get onto our first Resident Evil Platinum. I was a latecomer to the Resident Evil franchise, and I absolutely love it. It's easily become one of my favorite gaming series ever. I absolutely love these games, and I got lucky because I kind of got into it in the era of this remakes that we're in, where they're making the games again and again to a really high standard. So I'm really a really big fan. This is a really good Platinum, and I think it was my first of the year this year. I remember starting it, playing the first playthrough, seeing what was required, and realizing there's no way I will ever platinum this. But Resident Evil games are like, it's really weird. When you first, my theory on them with platinums is when you first play them, they're like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But as you keep playing them, they get easier and easier to you because you start figuring it out. You figure out optimized routes to get everything. You get better with the weapons. You know the enemies. So I think they're a very rewarding platinum because you really do realize that you become like a master of the game by the end. And then this is the one I'm talking about. This is Final Fantasy VII Remake that I've got for free from PS Plus that I want to do. Then onto a nice racing game, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, very nice. 6 out of 10, 35 hours, a lot of online trophies. And then we here enter an absolute, I need to get this fully on screen, we enter an Assassin's Creed season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Assassin's Creed games back to back in the space of 4 or 5 months. This is crazy. So you've got Assassin's Creed Origins, then you did Rogue, and then you went back and finished Black Flag, clearly, and did that over 7 years. I think that's quite a grindy one, isn't it? And then I think probably the most popular one, everyone seems to love this one, Assassin's Creed 2, done in a month, and then onto Brotherhood, and then Revelations. So I think it's safe to say Running Fish is a big fan of the Assassin's Creed games. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a really, really good game. One of my first platinums as well, in my first 7 or 8 platinums. I wanted to do Survivor, but I think even this week they launched a patch for it. So I don't want to play a big 50, 60 hour big platinum that's kind of broken. So I'm kind of waiting for all these patches to finish, and then I'm going to start it and focus on it. And then back to Assassin's Creed Unity. And then Doom. This is a great game. I love this. Really, really fun platinum. And then I presume here is where you get your PS3 in 2021. Astro's Playroom, a classic. Can't not have that if you've got the PS5. F1 2021, 75 hours. Apparently not difficult, but still 75 hours doing all those races. So nicely done. And then on to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, my first Resident Evil platinum. I really like this game. First person, 3 playthroughs. I think it's a very good entry level if you're trying to get into Resident Evil and you want to platinum them, I think this is possibly one of the best games to start with, because it only takes 3 playthroughs and it's a new chapter in the story, so you don't feel like you don't know what's going on. It's its own kind of little sub story in the Resident Evil world. And it just ticks all the boxes of what you want from a Resident Evil game. It's really good. It's one that I did on PS4, and I've got the PS5 on my wish list, because if it ever goes on sale, I wouldn't mind going back and doing it all over again. I do want to platinum my Resident Evil games again, either on the PS4, PS5, depending on which one I haven't done. Then you did the 7 remake again, I think on a different region. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, 7 out of 10. Another really difficult aerial battle game. So there's a nice variety in the games. It goes from racing to survival horror to Final Fantasy, first-person shooters. Resident Evil 3, probably my least favorite in the series that I've played. Out of the 5 games that I've played, it's not a bad game. It's just my least favorite. And the end boss, the platinum, is possibly the hardest, because the end boss on the hardest difficulty is deceptively hard. Like, you go in thinking you've got all the weapons, you've got all the perks, whatever, you know what to do, and it ends up being a lot trickier than expected. It took me by surprise. A Plague Tale: Innocence, this is a platinum that I got this year, only a few months ago. You did this really quickly, 3 days. Maybe I did it that quick as well, I can't remember, but yeah, you did this really quickly. Good game, really fun game. I really enjoyed it, and I think eventually, if I can get the sequel cheap or on free on PS Plus over the next year or so, I would definitely go back and play it. Doom Eternal, don't get me on this. I think this was the game that ended multiplayer trophies for me. This was the game where I was like, I don't want to platinum games that have multiplayer trophies anymore, and I don't think I have since. You need 3 people for multiplayer. If you did it naturally, it would take you ages to get all the trophies that you need to get, all the kills, etc. And arranging boosting was just so difficult. So yeah, Doom Eternal left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. Onto GTA Vice City, very nice, probably my favorite GTA game. 4 out of 10, only 40 hours. I presume it's longer. It's a Rockstar game. You got to do all the secret packages, 50 taxi drops, fire engines, all the jumps in your car. It must be longer than that. And then on to Modern Warfare Remastered and number 2 Remastered, and look at that, just done back to back so quickly. I struggled on number 1, I believe. I always get this mixed up, and you guys always correct me. I think it's number 1 that I'm stuck on, and I've just left. It's finished. But yeah, one day, 18 hours, mental. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I've got this one. This was quite accessible and straightforward. This was a good one. On to one of my all-time favorite games for sure. Maybe not all-time, but I think top 30, I reckon. Top 30. Game you must go out and platinum. Just play it. It's so good. Went back and did Shadow of Mordor, then Dungeon Encounters. Then we got Rise of the Tomb Raider. I couldn't get into this. Yeah, maybe I'll go back to it. I just don't know. I don't know why. I just couldn't get into it. Final Fantasy 15. 80 hours, and then a really massive one, which is Final Fantasy X HD, which I do own on the Vita actually. 110 hours. Excuse me, I had to cut there, I sneezed. Then we got Last of Us Remastered. Very nice to do, a very nice one. Multiplayer, trophies, etc. Quite a big grind to do. Transistor. Another Lego Jurassic World. And then Star Wars on the PS5, and then boom, the masterpiece, Red Dead Redemption 2. Got to give a round of applause for this one. This is the game that I really want, but chipping away at it is just so... Don't get me started. It's just, there's so much to do. There's so much to do and keep track of. Mega Man Legacy Collected. XCOM 2. 9 out of 10, 100 hours. 9 out of 10, 100 hours, 2 weeks. Unbelievable. Then Returnal. This game is so hard. I was watching a video on this actually only a few days ago. Some people just play through it so easily, so like comfortably, but I found it really hard. I couldn't get past the first boss. Yeah, 6 out of 10. I would give it more. I'd seriously give it more. Also, there's RNG with the trophies, so yeah, I don't know. This one is interesting. Death Stranding on the PS5 in 2 days. I guess you probably knew how to optimize it because you've already done it on the PS4, but that just stood out to me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you did a 100-hour game in 2 days. Lego 3 Beyond Gotham is definitely one that I want to eventually do. I did Lego Batman 2. Sorry if I sound sniffly. I've got hay fever, so I keep sneezing. Tomb Raider, yeah, 8 years. This is probably because you were chipping away at the multiplayer non-stop. It's just so, yeah, long-winded. This is why you shouldn't have multiplayer trophies in single-player games. Mortal Kombat 11, 1 week and 1 day, nicely done. Alien Isolation, this is one that I eventually want to do. I've got it back there on disc, and I love the Alien films, love them. Big fan, particularly of number 1. And yeah, it just looks like a very testing platinum, definitely. It looks really quite scary, so definitely one that I want to do. Spider-Man Remastered, Ark Survival, Diablo 3. That's one you got to put the hours in for sure. And then Duke Nukem 3D. I have thought about this one. You can do it in 3 hours. But I think that might be with a... I don't know if there's a glitch for this one. I can't. There's one Duke Nukem game where I think you can do like cheat codes or something, and it just makes it a lot more quicker. And then you did my plan. You went back and did Resident Evil 7 PS5, which is basically what I want to do. Then Elden Ring in a week and 6 days, which is, I guess, yeah, you're a From Software expert, so yeah, that is very impressive because that's a huge game. Then on to one of my all-time favorite series. This made me feel very jealous. So Arkham Knight. We're like the same. I did Arkham Knight over 6-7 years. I started it when it came out, and then I wasn't going for the platinum, obviously, but I did like 60%. And then I came back last year and got it as my 50th. So it's very, very similar to me. And then Arkham Asylum in 5 days, which is, I think, doable because you can do just one playthrough on hard, and then you have to do all the Predator maps and all that, the combat maps. So I think, yeah, that is really good. That's really impressive. This is a platinum I really badly want. And then it was F1 season, like we had an Assassin's Creed season earlier. Look at this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 F1 games and F1 manager games, which is just, yeah, wow. All done quite quickly as well, all done kind of in August. Very, very impressive. Killzone Shadow 4, and then on to F1 again, and then What Remains of Edith Finch. Highly recommend this. Nice, easy platinum, and really good story, really well made. Titanfall 2 you did very quickly. I'm still stuck on the Gauntlet, and I haven't played it in probably a year or two. I just can't get over that trophy, and I haven't finished the game because I don't want the game to be like 97% complete and it's that one trophy bugging me. That will really annoy me. I just want to get the Gauntlet out of the way, then I know I can get the platinum. Alan Wake, yeah, not for me. I'm not the biggest. I don't know. I didn't gel with that game. Just, yeah, it wasn't for me. Mortal Kombat 10, 50 hours, 4 out of 10, done, chipped away at over the years, very nice. Then Ragnarok, kind of just banged that out really quickly, 1 week and 6 days. Castlevania Requiem, I don't know, there was a Castlevania game on the PS4, so this is definitely one I'm going to look into, and it's 15 hours. Because I remember playing this many years ago. So it's definitely one I'm going to check out. Heavenly Bodies is one that's always on my list, but I'm not sure if I can get into it or if it'd be my type of game. And then Save Room, one Chambara Z2, and then a big one, 7 out of 10, 100 hours, done over 7, basically 8 years, Destiny, another really big epic platinum, nicely done. Then on to my latest Resident Evil game, actually, Resident Evil Village game. It's really interesting. People either love or hate this game. There seems to be no middle ground. I like it. It's good. It's wacky. It's weird, but I like it a lot. And if you get the DLC, you can play it comes as first person, but you can play it as third person, which I think is really cool. That game lets you change. Outer Worlds, a game I have got through PS Plus, but I've just not started it. Then 2 Resident Evils I don't think I'll ever do, and you did these not long ago, but Resident Evil 1 I'd love to do, but it's the fixed camera, and there's a trophy we have to go through the game with invisible enemies with a fixed camera. Like, I don't know if I can even do that, but you did it quickly. And then Resi 5, I tried this. I've got it on the PS4 as well, and it's going to sound so dumb, but like it's with the new Resis, you can obviously move and shoot. You can walk backwards or forwards and shoot. So it's quite slick. Resi 5, you have to stand still and shoot. And then you move around and you stand still and shoot. And for me, with those type of survival horror games, I like to be able to either kind of back away a little bit while I'm shooting an enemy or something, or it's just, I just couldn't get into the gameplay. And I think they're remaking it, so I hope they're remaking it because I want more remakes, so I think I'll wait for that. Another F1, and then we enter a little Final Fantasy season. We got 4 Final Fantasies, including 1 and 2, and you did the 1 in a day, which is, very impressive. Then the Division, man, I wish I had someone to play the Division with. These games look so fun, Division 1 and Division 2. I know apparently you can do it solo, but I think it'd probably be optimized to do the Platinum co-op. But yeah, it's a game that I definitely really want to do. They look really cool. They look good. They look fun. And then Final Fantasy 3 and 4. 3 done really quickly. And then the 2 kind of spin-off God of Wars, can we call them? Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta on the PS3. In fact, you had a little PS3 section here. Look at this. I like this. Prince of Persia, nice, classic. Heavy Rain, Final Fantasy 13-2, the second version, I don't know. And then the OG God of War on PS3 done really quickly. And then back to PS5. That's nice. I like that. 6 PS3 games back to back in 2023. Excellent. Final Fantasy 16, which is the new one. I should probably know this. People are going to mental at me, but I think it's the one that came out this year. If so, you did that really quickly. Power Wash Simulator, you gotta love this. 40 hours. Definitely one that I'm gonna check out. And then Final Fantasy 5, and then F1. So yeah, quite a lot of I think I should have included F1 at the beginning when I mentioned all your gaming series, but yeah, a really nice trophy list with a wide variety of games. Very impressive. Fighting games, racing F1 games, first person shooters, From Software, Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy, the classics like Uncharted and Batman, Red Dead 2, Metal Gear Solid 5. Really very impressive trophy list. One of those trophy lists that's now going to make me think a lot about mine and getting better games on mine. But yeah, really good. So thank you very much, Running Fish 007, for submitting your trophy list for a review. And a quick note to say thank you guys for being patient. I will be getting through these a lot quicker as soon as I can and drop more videos for you amazing subscribers. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and I will see you soon in the next video. Take care.